the game, 'cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go.
ThaBoxingvoice.com live here with Tim Smith. How are you?
I'm fine, man. How you doing?
How's the weather treating you?
It's cold, but it's okay. We're used to it.
What do you think of Thurman? He looks back to you?
I mean, we won't know until he gets in the ring, but, you know, he's saying all the right things. He sounds very confident. He weighed in at 146.5. He looks very good, so we'll see tomorrow night.
What's the plan for Thurman for 2019?
You know, the plan for Thurman for 2019, out of his mouth, is he wants to fight a unification fight by the end of the year.
Oh,
that's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah, he wants to get back his WBC title against Porter by the end of the year. That's what he said this morning. So I got to take him at his word.
Do you think that if Manny can't get the Floyd fight, is that the most logical fight for Manny or Keith?
Yeah, I think it's a big fight. I mean, I think both of them have, you know, the qualifications. Both of them have the credentials to get in the ring and make a great fight. You know, if he can't get that unification fight, why not get it on with Manny? But obviously, anything that I say means nothing because both those guys have to agree. I know that Keith wants that fight, but you have to ask Manny if that's something that he wants.
And as far as Manny, what's next for him if not Floyd?
I think, look, the whole PBC welterweight cabinet is wide open for him. All he's got to do is open the cabinet door and pull one of them off the shelf, and they're not going to turn it down.
What's the targeted date for Manny's return?
I don't know. You know, Manny has his own date. He has senatorial responsibilities in the Philippines, so whatever works around that. So he's got to make his own schedule.
Wow. So it's not going to be like normal November.
Well, I mean, if that's typically what he does, I don't know what the Philippines congressional schedule is. But, you know, whatever his schedule has been in the past, I would think that he would keep to that same fight schedule.
If Errol is successful in the Mikey Garcia fight, what's his logical next step for 2019?
Again, he's in the same position as Manny Pacquiao. He's going to be looking in that same cabinet. Everything is available to these guys. You have to understand that all of our top welterweights will have been in action in the first quarter of this year, from January through April. So the whole year is open to them. You know, whatever, if they all make it out without major injuries or anything like that, they all make it out unscathed, then you're looking anywhere from June or July through the end of the year to put them back in against somebody.
Switching subjects to Ortiz, another one of your guys. Why do you think Lewis went with Christian Hammer when this is the first time and probably ever that the top 10 was available, and that's everyone in the top 10?
I have no clue. I have no clue about his thinking about what he wanted to do in terms of the match that he won. I don't know what he's working on particularly. There could be something that he's working on. There could have been a situation
where. Give us something, Tim, because he's with Al.
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you what I don't know. I don't know why he didn't make a match with this guy or that guy. The only thing I know is the slot opened up and he wanted to fight. He wants to be active. If you look at his activity rate, he's like one of the most active heavyweights.
He had 3 fights last year
in the game. He's like one of the guys that wants to continuously fight. But he's got to align with guys who have the same similar kind of thinking that he has. So he's got to find guys within that top 10 that want to be just as active as he does.
Islandri Lara, he didn't align with Canelo. Al made him align. Austin Trout didn't align with Cotto. It was Al's doing. Same thing for Austin and Canelo. Like, Al is known to get the guy who can't get the fight to fight. Lewis is getting old. We want Lewis to get some opportunities other than, you know, the Christian Hammers of the world.
Look, you know what? I think as long as Luis stays active, those opportunities are going to happen for him. I think he's always going to be in play. But again, you're talking about it takes 2 people to make a fight. You realize that whoever you may suggest as to who an opponent could be for him, that person also has to agree to the fight. So you have to align the interest of someone else with the interest and the desire of Luis to fight them. So all of these forces have to come together.
How many pay-per-views does Deontay Wilder have to sell so that his next fight with Luis Ortiz is on pay-per-view?
That number I have no idea. He just got to do his
Come on, Tim. No way. I'm not letting you off the. You used to be a writer.
I have no idea. Look, dude, I don't know.
Educated guess. You used to be a writer. You should know what Tyson and Wilder need to do so that Wilder's a certified star.
What do you think?
$1 million. $1 million.
That's a high bar. In this day and age, oh, you think that's a real number? Okay. In this day and age, with people stealing streaming services and everything, that's a tremendous number.
So you think that the 1.3 that Canelo?
I'm not saying anything.
You just insinuated that.
I'm just saying, if you think that's a real number, then I think you ought to do a little bit more research.
All right, so you're saying that 1 million is no more realistic? That's sad. I want a superstar, don't you?
But you're measuring. We're in a day and age and a time where I don't know if that's what it takes to be a superstar anymore. I think our measure.
So how do we quantify it?
That's the thing. I think we're going to have to change the quantification of what makes somebody a superstar. I think what we're trying to do with Fox in terms of bringing guys into the purview of just the general, sports scene. I think the new dynamic of creating stars is going to be, once a guy fights on Fox, you measure it progressively what the rating he gets. And then if he starts popping up on other shows, with other sports teams and things like that in terms of building popularity, you have to remember that Floyd Mayweather didn't become popular until he started doing Dancing with the Stars, WWE. So you almost have to use a platform like that so you can build out to, the general public and the general sports fan, in terms of building popularity. I don't know if pay-per-view is going to be the defining factor of someone's popularity. I don't know that. I don't know if you can use that as a metrics anymore.
People are definitely using it as a negotiation tactic.
Of course they are, because nobody's got hip to whether that's what makes people popular. And a lot of people are like, oh, this guy can't walk down the street and do this or that. But if you ask me right now who the most popular boxer is in the sport of boxing, it's still Floyd Mayweather. It's still Floyd Mayweather.
Can't disagree.
Because that guy can't walk in a room anywhere without somebody recognizing him. He can't walk down the street without somebody recognizing him. And to me, that's the quantification of who the real star is, whether he's active or he's not active. He is still the most popular guy in the sport. And if he announced tomorrow that he's going to get back into the ring, that million number that you just said, that's the floor for him. That's the floor for him. Everybody else is trying to get to his floor. So until you find somebody who can get to his floor consistently against anybody, to me, they're not what you would call a boxing superstar.
What do you think are the elements that a fighter needs?
I think the elements that a fighter needs is, I think they have to be relatable to the general sports public. I think that they have to be charismatic in terms of people being attracted to them, and they have to either have one or two things. Either everybody wants to see them win, like a Manny Pacquiao, or everybody wants to see them lose, like a Floyd Mayweather. You got to have one of those two things.
Does Anthony Joshua have that?
I don't know Anthony Joshua. The guy never fought in America. So in Britain, I think he has all those things. In America, to me, he doesn't have any of those things.
Does Wilder have that?
Wilder has an it factor. But you have to keep growing him. You have to keep building him. His popularity has to build. His popularity built with the Fury fight. That was a water cooler fight. Everybody talked about that fight. After that fight, Deontay is on with what's the late night?
Rogan?
No, the late night comedian.
Jimmy Kimmel?
No, the other Corbin.
Okay. Corbin.
Whatever his name is. I don't want to disrespect the guy.
Yeah.
James Corbin.
Yeah.
He was on with Corden. James Corden. He was on with James Corden, and that's the kind of thing that it takes to build a guy so that he can show up on late night television and people sort of recognize him. And then you run the clip over and over again. So yeah, he's there. He's just got to keep building on what he has. he's getting to be very popular. So he's building into that stage where he can have all of those factors. He's charismatic, he's likable, he's relatable, and the mainstream people are getting to know him. So he is getting to that point.
Now, since you questioned the Canelo number, is Wilder's 325 real?
That may be higher.
Maybe higher?
Maybe, I don't know.
When do we get a final number?
No, nobody in the industry is ever going to give you. Nobody in the industry is ever going to give you.
Again, we know, and you know as a former writer, it's a leverage point. So if the number is more,
but the people,
more.
But here's the thing: the people that are doing the negotiations, that where you're trying to use the leverage, they know what the number is. We, as people that
so you're saying Warren, Fury, Wilder know the number?
Yes.
How do we get?
Because there's an accounting for it. They have to account for it.
Okay, so how do we get the other guys to know the number, who need to know the number to...
Who needs to know the number?
Obviously, Eddie Hearn, so that he can give a fair offer or come to the table legitimately in the future.
I have no idea. I mean, I don't. That's up to him to determine what the number is.
How is it up to them to determine what Wilder Fury did on pay-per-view?
Look, these guys are not stupid.
What about the UK numbers? No UK numbers have been released.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh,
but here's what I'm saying.
Tim the Spinner these days.
No. Here's what I'm saying. The people that are involved in these negotiations, they know, and they can make projections on what something's going to do. They know based on what somebody is doing in terms of ratings, what people are doing in terms of attendance, selling tickets and stuff. They can get an idea of what all goes in. They know what kind of site fee they can get from a casino or from an arena. They know how to scale the prices for tickets.
They know. You know too.
I don't know.
I don't know. Does that fight make more sense, the rematch in the US or in the UK?
Which one?
Wilder Fury 2.
Makes more dollars in the US.
Okay, so more sense.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if that's what you're basing it on, would it be a humongous stadium fight in the UK? Yeah.
So is that something that you're...
But here's the thing, the gate's not going to be the same. You cannot charge the same price for a ticket in the UK that you can charge at, in America. You can't, the finances are different. But yeah, there's significantly more money in America than there is in the UK. I mean, people talk about Anthony Joshua selling 90,000 or 100,000 at Wembley. But for the Klitschko fight, this is a report. For the Klitschko fight, they reported that the gate was $12 million. You know what the gate was for Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor at T-Mobile?
Give me the gate for Wilder Fury.
I don't know what the gate is.
Oh, man, that's the relative. That's where it's relative. No, Floyd's a welterweight.
But it's still, the rematch for Wilder and Fury, can you agree that the rematch for Wilder and Fury is going to be significantly a much bigger fight than the first fight?
I would agree, but we also don't have release numbers to use as a gauge.
Well, you're a reporter. Do some reporting. You can find out from the California Commission what those figures are. You can do that yourself. You can do some reporting. I haven't reported because I'm not a reporter. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't matter to me.
All right. So the writer is I'm not
a writer anymore.
Exactly, but the writer in you.
Yeah.
When do you see Wilder, Anthony Joshua realistically happening for the fight fans?
I don't know, because I can't speak for Anthony Joshua. You have to, this is all you have to remember about the negotiations for that fight. Do you remember that Deontay Wilder said, "I will take $15 million. I will travel to England to fight your guy for $15 million." Do you remember that he accepted that deal? And do you remember what happened?
A lot of things happened.
But they said no. We gotta, because the WBA or one of those is
48 hour
and mandated 48 hours has mandated we do this. Okay, so to me that's telling me that if your guy says we don't want 50 million and then another,
there's a lot more into that.
Okay, there's a lot more into that. But just on the surface, you had a guy that had already accepted this amount to do it then. That time is gone, and he's got other options now. So he's got to fit everything into his future plans. His future plans don't necessarily include that, but it may at his convenience. You had him then But things have changed. Timeline has been altered now. So I can't speak to when that fight is. The only thing I can say is it's a very attractive fight and it's going to happen at some point. When it happens, I don't know.
Is it better to just let it build? Because, again, since you used Floyd as the gauge, that fight took like 5-7 years to make.
Yeah, but you don't want this to happen, man. You don't want this to take that long. You definitely don't want it to take that long.
Yeah, but now with everyone with their own separate entity, the Zone is obviously trying to attract U.S. viewers. You guys are with Fox and Showtime. How does that fight really work out?
There's never been a fight where all the participants wanted to happen that it didn't happen.
Fair enough.
Smart people get into a room and make things happen. If everybody is on board to make it happen, and there are no obstructions from anybody, it'll happen. People will make it happen. The people that want it to happen will make it happen.
All right, well, Tim, that's all my questions. Thank you so much.
Always, man. It's always a pleasure.
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.